For generations, we nourished our families with delicious products made from dairy. But what about the next generation? Growing up in the metaverse with changing tastes, evolving areas of passion, and alternative ingredient options, how can we make sure that milk remains relevant and captures the hearts and stomachs of Gen Z, who already make up 20% of the population with over $100 billion in spending power? Welcome to New York MilkLaunch 2022, a product innovation accelerator for dairy-based startups with over $200,000 worth of non-dilutive pricing for the best new milktrepreneurs. Dairy is the leading agriculture sector for the state of New York, making it the 5th largest producer of milk and the largest producer of cottage cheese in the U.S. So the New York State Dairy Promotion Order partnered with leading innovation advisory Venture Fuel to identify and grow what's next in dairy. Venture Fuel tapped into its network of over 500 VCs, angel investors, university labs, and industry partners to find 6 of the world's most innovative dairy-based startups. These finalists spent the past several months working with elite mentors from some of the largest companies in the world, founders from high-growth startups, top venture capitalists, and some of New York's best dairy producers and processors, all to develop their products and hone their pitches for the chance to win the $150,000 grand prize. These founders will pitch our expert judging panel from Kraft Heinz, Chobani, UNFI, Giant Eagle, and 500 Gen Z consumers who will vote to crown one up-and-coming startup as the winner of this year's New York MilkLaunch. So don't you move! This is going to be way too good to miss.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to New York MilkLaunch. I'm Fred Schonenberg. I'm the founder of Venture Fuel, and we're so excited to have you join us for this amazing evening to identify the next great dairy startups focused on Generation Z. I launched Venture Fuel 8 years ago to help large organizations tap into the innovative solutions being created by startups. And tonight, we're going to see 6 of the best dairy startups in the world competing before a world-class judging panel. In the video you just saw, we found hundreds of new startups from around the world. Before selecting these 6 that then have gone through our world-class mentor program, this is their graduation from that program. It's their moment to announce their presence to the world. And we're so excited you're going to be here to join us for that. So buckle up. It's going to be a great show. Now, first off, just want to do a little bit of housekeeping. Let's go to the requirements for this program. Each of these startups is made up of 50% dairy milk. So their product has to have at least 50% dairy milk. They are focused on Gen Z, and they have under $250,000 in sales. I think the judges are going to have their work cut out for them tonight. And they're going to be judging on a couple different criteria. Uniqueness. This is what innovation is all about. What is that point of differentiation? Taste. It's a food and beverage competition. Is it going to taste great? And we've got all the judges have received samples and they're going to describe it to you as well. Viability and scale. This isn't about just a one-off type program. This is, can this scale and be commercialized and drive real demand for New York dairy? And of course, the founder team, all of whom you're going to get to meet tonight as they pitch their products to the judges. All these companies are competing this evening for several things, but the 2 biggest are to win the $150,000 grand prize of non-dilutive pricing. So what that means is they're not giving up any equity. This is all to grow their company. And of course, it's for bragging rights as well as the best dairy startup in the state of New York. So without further ado, let me bring on our amazing judges. First off, I'd like to welcome Daphne Hefner. Daphne is the Chief Strategy and Transformation Officer at Kraft Heinz, one of the largest food and beverage companies in the world, with 8 $1 billion brands and global sales of approximately $25 billion. Previously, Daphne was at AD InBev, where she was a driving force of delivering an aggressive innovation agenda. Daphne, it's so nice to have you with us tonight.
Thank you.
Next up, we've got Neil Sanford. I have to say, Neil is one of the fan favorites of all of our founders. He's been a mentor in past programs. Neil is the Chief Innovation Officer at Chobani, which is, everyone knows, the #1 selling Greek yogurt brand in America and the second largest overall yogurt manufacturer. Neil leads the talented group of R&D and new product development folks at Chobani, and he is a founder favorite, as I mentioned. So Neil, thank you so much for being a judge.
Glad to be here. Anything for the milk.
I love it. Next up, Jennifer Anoja. Jennifer is a senior category manager at KeHE Distributors, one of the largest and most respected natural distributors in the nation. Jennifer oversees the dairy and refrigerated beverage business, helping drive innovation for the category. Jennifer, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Next up, we have Jason Kale. Jason is a fourth generation dairy farmer from Kale Farms in Wyoming County, New York. He's representing the amazing and wonderful New York dairy farmers this evening. Jason's farm has over 135 milking cows and 120 replacement young stock, and the farm owns and crops over 400 acres. Thank you, Jason, for joining us.
I'm glad to be here. Glad to represent the dairy farmers of New York State.
Wonderful. Next up, Aaron May. Aaron is the senior manager at Unify's Up Next program. This is the destination program for innovative, emerging, and diverse suppliers. Aaron has over 10 years of supplier marketing and management experience and helps find the future of food today and creates the best partners of tomorrow. Aaron, thank you for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Next up is Harry Lewis. Harry is the Chief Disruptive Growth Officer at Apex, a member of the Mariposa Group, which is the greatest conglomerate of food and beverages in Latin America. Harry is responsible for leading the company's development and growth strategies via Engine 4 Ventures, the disruptive growth unit that aims at creating the businesses of the future through venture capital and transformation. Harry, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me. Hello, everybody.
Next up, we have Chef Farley Kaiser. Chef Kaiser is the Director of Culinary Innovation, R&D at Get Go Care and Market, a convenience store chain owned and operated by grocer Giant Eagle. Farley is a certified culinary educator and R&D chef with over 25 years of hands-on forward innovation. Thank you so much for joining us, Chef.
My pleasure.
And last but certainly not least, many of you may have seen Claudia today on an amazing TikTok video, which we'll show you at the end of the show. But Claudia Lubner is 1/3 of the dairy and farm influencer trio, the New York Farm Girls. The Farm Girls have over 625,000 followers with over 20 million views. Their family is a fourth-generation farming family who owns a dairy farm in upstate New York, where they share their lives day to day while promoting agriculture. Thanks so much for the amazing video, which we'll show later, and for being a great judge this evening.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Now, let's turn to our first startup and get right into that. Please welcome Elite Sweets.
Whether you eat this donut with your coffee for breakfast, as a snack, before and after a workout, or even for the late night munchies, the Elite Donut is fit for any lifestyle. Elite.com. 3 delicious flavors, individually packaged for portion control and pre-glazed for your convenience. The Elite Donut, the anytime donut.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Amin Bahari, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Elite Sweets, makers of the Elite Donut, which is the first of its kind, better for you donut. The Elite Donut is made protein packed, made with whey and milk proteins, is keto friendly, low sugar, and gluten free. The inspiration for Elite Sweets goes back to my days in high school, where at the age of 16, I weighed 340 pounds. I was on the path to obesity and diabetes, which is something that runs in my family. After seeing the negative effects of these diseases firsthand, I knew that wasn't the life I wanted to live. So my twin brother and co-founder, Amir, and I, we adopted a high-protein keto lifestyle, and in just over a year, we lost over 200 pounds combined. Inspired by our weight loss journey and the impact food has on our body, we wanted to help others do the same. So years later, after eating at our local donut shop, we thought to ourselves, why isn't there a healthier version to our favorite sweets? And thus, Elite Sweets was born. We launched our Elite Donuts in 3 delicious flavors: our birthday cake, chocolate, and cinnamon sugar, all of which are pictured here. Each Elite Donut is made individually packaged, pre-glazed, and ready to eat for your convenience. All of our donuts are keto verified, contain only 1 to 2 grams of sugar per donut, and more than 10 grams of protein in each donut. So why a donut, you may be wondering? Well, data shows that over the last few years, we have seen a shift in consumer behavior away from bars, and now people are looking for more functional alternatives, form factors to consume functional products that are high in protein, low in sugar, and low carb and keto. This is where the Elite Donut is filling that gap, creating an all-in-one delicious functional product that is capitalizing on what consumers are looking for. And we believe now is the time. More than ever, consumers want better for you. Similar to how Halo Top became the #1 selling pint in America and Lenny and Larry's pioneered the protein cookie, Elite Sweets is making it easier for everyone to enjoy donuts guilt-free. And we are setting the standard for years to come. And the swell has already begun. We have had a ton of traction since our launch in 2019, and Elite Sweets has been building our brand online through social media, direct consumer, and on Amazon, where we become the #1 selling donut on Amazon. And we have amassed nearly 100,000 followers across all social media platforms. So what's next for Elite Sweets? Introducing the Elite Donut 2.0. Since day one, we have been a frozen product with a limited shelf life that sells almost exclusively online. But we knew in order to take the brand to the next level, we would have to achieve retail distribution. And that's what we've been working on. We recently reformulated our Elite Donuts to be shelf stable for now almost up to a year. And we brought our COGS down by over 40% as part of the reformulation. We are launching this new product in October of this year in just 2 months. And the goal of the reformulation was to get the product retail ready and to get retail distribution with the help of our partners, including Doug Boughton, who is the founder of Halo Top, who's going to be representing Elite Sweets as a sales broker. This will allow us to sell individually packaged donuts at the store level for ultimate convenience. And if we were to win the competition today, we want to use the grant money for marketing and to support our upcoming retail launch in New York retailers. So our retail strategy is really focused on a channeled approach. In 2023 and 2024, we're focusing on the specialty channel with retailers like GNC, nutrition shops and gyms, and grocery stores like H-E-B, Kroger, and Publix. And beyond that, going into 2025 and 2026, as we continue to prove out retail velocities, we want to continue to launch more C-store and big box stores. And really, lastly, being Elite Sweets, we want to be the leader in the better for you snacking category. And Elite Donut is just the start for us. Next year, we want to launch our line of Elite Donut Holes. And beyond that, we want to continue to innovate with new product lines that focus on an emphasis in low sugar, high protein, and keto friendly. At Elite Sweets, we are really redefining the way people think about sweets. Thank you guys for your time today, and I look forward to answering any questions you may have.
All right. I mean, that was fantastic. I have to say, as somebody that is, gluten intolerant, this was like my prayers are being answered. I won't admit how many of them I ate when you sent them over, but they're delicious. So I'm going to turn it over to the judges here. Let them ask you some questions. Aaron, why don't we start with you?
Great. Amin, congratulations on all your success and your personal journey as well. That's really inspirational. When I was looking at your presentation, so at UNFI, I managed Frozen when the Halo Top boom happened. So I was wondering when you were going to say Halo Top and not if, and tell Doug I said hi. So going along with that, and then other competitors like Enlightened, went away from the pints and went into some other space. So what Halo Top did was create the necessity to make new shelf space for a brand new product. And yours with the single serve, fantastic donut. That is what I had for breakfast 2 days in a row. I'm wondering what the plan is to carve out space as you get to the retail level, because you're not just asking, hey, I should be here next to all of my competition. You're saying Elite Sweets should be here instead of popsicles, or something else that's going to be in the freezer already. You're inventing kind of a subcategory. It's pretty cool. I love it.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I guess just to clarify, so we're launching the new version of our Elite Donuts in October, so in just a couple months, and that's actually going to be shelf stable for up to a year. So I think where we would position ourselves in terms of retail is really in kind of that more sports nutrition functional products. If you're familiar with like the Lenny and Larry's cookies or like Quest, I think that's really where we want to position ourselves with as an individually packaged product that's really functional compared to those. So kind of anywhere Lenny and Larry's is sold, that's where I see the Elite Donut being sold in a retail setting.
With 9 months of shelf life?
That's correct.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Claudia, what about you? Do you have any questions?
Yeah, so I love your product, and I could have eaten them all day. So you did mention maybe using, if you were to win the grant money for marketing and everything, what would be your attack for marketing? Or did you go in the social media direction, or did you have any plans to attack for that?
Yeah, definitely social media. So, I mean, to date, we really built our brand through social media, but I think really where our focus is really making a splash when we hit retail. So this is going to be our first time really getting into retail stores. And so as we launch into like the New York's retail scene, we really want to focus on, promotional spend, trade spend, really getting, slotting fees and things like that to really make sure that we can stand out. I think one thing that we talked about was really looking at displays so that way we can stand out. Because I think a product like the Elite Donut, it's really unique. It's one of the kind, and we're setting the standard for kind of what a better for you donut is to look like in the future. And I think that's really where we want to spend a lot of the marketing dollars in store to really help promote a successful launch.
Awesome.
Great. Neil.
Yeah, awesome product. It's funny, I only have 2 experiences in my career in yogurt and in donuts. My dad had a donut company, so I was excited to try this one. It was funny. From an R&D perspective, just had a couple food questions, and one is a little bit of a interesting watch out. I see you use allulose, and we use allulose as well. Incredible, kind of new to market specialty sugar. And it's interesting that Whole Foods does not allow any allulose.
Yeah.
So be careful there. And it sounds like you're familiar.
Oh, yeah.
And any reason why you don't call out the percent protein? I'm just curious because you're using high quality dairy protein. You have all the essential aminos. Is there a reason why you're not doing that on the facts panel?
So I think in terms of the allulose thing, to address that first, we're removing allulose in the new product. So similar to kind of what you mentioned,
it's expensive too.
Yeah, and it prohibits you from some certain retailers. But in terms of the protein thing, I think really where we're kind of shifting the focus with the new launch is being more primarily focused on keto. So I think what you'll see on our kind of packaging refresh is really an emphasis on the kind of the keto and low carb. But I think that's a great point, and that's something that we can look to kind of call out as we're in the process of redesigning right now, because it is still a higher protein donut, but really I think the emphasis is kind of more on the keto and the better for you aspect. But that's a great point. I think
I'd be careful with keto. I know we only have just a minute here. You do limit it. The clinical evidence of keto is tricky to get into. Absolutely huge trend, of course, but when you dig into it, it's hard to substantiate. But and then also just quick one, it was interesting that I thought the food was incredible directly out of the refrigerator, and then when I did the microwave instructions, it took on a really different mouthfeel, and I thought the refrigerated directly was significantly better. The cinnamon kind of woke up in the hot version. I just thought that was just interesting. I think your decision to go shelf stable is a massive choice. I'm sure others agree. For convenience stores or just fighting for that space, just the dry space is 10 times less of a war zone than the refrigerated or frozen. So kudos to you on that choice. That was big. Yeah, great call.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And great. Farley, what questions do you have?
I have just a quick question about your sensory process. So as you go after different flavors and product lines, how do you go after getting the consumer data to understand what your target audience is looking for from flavor and product line?
Yeah, for us internally, we've kind of used our customer data. So whether it be emails and just reaching surveys, reaching out to our consumers to kind of see, what flavors they're looking for, what new products. And I think for us, the main focus is really just kind of building the brand around the Elite Donut and being a donut first company today. And so for us, the next obvious product extension would be donut holes. But in terms of flavors, it's really just kind of utilizing customer surveys and kind of the insights that we get through social media, emails, things like that. People are always looking for the next thing. And so we have a ton in terms of the innovation pipeline. But our number one focus is just getting to retail with our core products, and then kind of using direct consumer as a way to test before we launch into retail. And really kind of validate, all those things you mentioned, sensory, new flavors, taste, kind of all of that.
Fantastic. Thank you.
No problem.
And we do have time for one more question if anyone has another one they'd like to throw out there.
I would just say I like your idea of focusing on core fundamental flavors when you're in trial mode. It's always sexy to do something super, super interesting and exotic, but you're so focused on turns and velocity and building your business case in the smaller distribution you have to have that case study to go get more. Exactly. So I know we've learned the hard way to stay focused on the big flavors, get them cranking, get the distro, and then get a little more exotic. So I think that's smart.
100%. And that's the playbook we're taking, is just kind of learning from others. The Halo Top playbook, similar to what you said at Chobani, is just really staying focused, having a successful launch and using that data to really continue to scale and, then take it to the next level.
Totally.
Thank you, judges. Thank you, Amin. This was great. And we'll probably see you later on in the show. So next up from my backyard here in Brooklyn, we've got Creme and Coco.
Hi, I'm Astra Thorpe, and this is Omar Thorpe, and we are the owners of Creme Coco Creamery located in Brooklyn, New York. We are here to introduce to you one of our newest flavors. It is called a split pint. One of our things that we love doing is eating ice cream, and we always ate ice cream throughout, our relationship. And our split pint idea came up with the concept of cake and ice cream. So before we get into our split pint, let's go back to our story, like who we are. Omar and I are ice cream lovers. We love ice cream. We actually met on our first date over 20 years ago over ice cream. So you know that we love ice cream. And pretty much we started our brand just with the love of ice cream, wanted to do ice cream ourselves because we saw there was a lack of ice creams that we loved on the market. So we said, you know what, why not make ice creams ourselves? We always made ice cream at home, and we had a business that we sold other people's ice cream. We shut down that business and went into ice cream making for ourselves. So we got a commercial machine and started making ice cream in our space and started selling ice cream. It was actually became a great hit. We were able to create ice creams that we loved, and we're able to create ice creams that we're passionate about, and ice creams that you don't see normally on the shelves. Well, let me tell you a little bit about our growth story. So we basically opened up our ice cream scoop shop in 2017. Then, we started making a bunch of ice creams. We made over 50 ice creams that first year when we opened up in 2017. And as the years went on, we started making creative flavors and started doing new things. We went into making ice cream so much that we launched an online delivery platform. So we did our local online deliveries, so, within the tri-state area. So people would order ice cream on our platform. They would order to pick up and order for delivery. Then we even got bigger. We started our nationwide shipping in 2020. So not everyone across America can have ice cream. So we started to actually do ice cream as far as California. And people love our ice cream choices. Then we started going into wholesale. Our wholesale consists of supermarkets, restaurants, and small stores. Our biggest wholesale that we did recently was our partnership with DashMart. So now we're in all DashMart stores in the tri-state area, and that is growing as well. As you can see, with our products, we love ice cream. But let's get back into the split pint. The split pint came from the love of ice cream and cake. Omar and I love cake, and we love ice cream. So we said, why can't we make something we make ice cream and cake already, a mix, but let's do something different. Let's do something layered. So we did a split pint which consists of a layer of ice cream, a layer of cake. And we said, you know what? Let's add sherbet. So we could do a layer of cake, a layer of sherbet, a layer of ice cream. We also can do down the line a layer of cake, a layer of sorbet, and a layer of ice cream. And also we can also do a layer of cake, a layer of vegan ice cream, and a layer of ice cream. So the combinations with our split pint will go beyond what we currently do in our store. The split pint we have for you today is our mango, passion fruit, and tropical cake. That is basically one of our favorite flavors. We have Caribbean backgrounds, so we love tropical flavors, we love mango, and we love cake. So we combined everything together and created this beautiful pint called Split Pint. And I hope you enjoy this ice cream. And as we grow, the split pint and the split flavors, hey, you don't know what it can take us.
Omar and Astrid, welcome to the show. That was great. I have to tell you, I love you went on your first date together over ice cream. After I proposed to my wife, the first thing we did is went and get ice cream. We were like celebrating. We're like, oh, there's an ice cream place. So it's got a special place in my heart also. I'm going to turn it over to the judges here. Daphne, why don't you go first?
They were delicious. And I think I had half of the pint myself, and it was a fight at home. And I say, I'm not going to share. And I miss New York very much. So it is really a taste of the city. Question, I'm curious on what is your expansion model, and it looks like you expanded very fast, and you start in Brooklyn and then went in to distribution and wholesaler. So what's in your mind when it comes to go big and start to expand even faster? So what do you have in mind for as per expansion plan?
Sure. As we're expanding, this is the 5th year. It seems like it grew fast, which it did the last couple of years. Our plan is to continue getting our pints out. So currently we do a lot of direct to consumer. So our biggest market is direct to consumer. So it's been great and it's going great. Now we have to get into our distribution into grocers. So we have a plan now. We're looking into actually getting co-packing relationships, because as you know, in ice cream space, ice cream is kind of difficult to transport. It's difficult to kind of have in locations. So as we grow, we're looking to have a co-packing location, maybe in the Midwest, middle of America, so that we can actually have access, so that people can get our ice cream into those grocery stores on the other side of America and also in the Midwest. We can service now comfortably in the tri-state area, in the New York-based area, but as we grow, we want to be able to have distributions where when we do make our ice cream, it can be made in locations that people can have access to it, because of ice cream is being sensitive.
Right. Jennifer, how about you?
Awesome. Well, I loved your product. I love the pound cake on top. It was just a cherry on top. Like Daphne said, I'm probably going to be hiding this ice cream from my daughter, but it was really good. So as far, my question has to do with packaging. So I love the product, but it was a little bit hard to scoop to get to the bottom of it, the bottom ice cream layer. So I was wondering, are you looking into any single serves, or maybe making the layers a little bit thinner, so when you grab a scoop, you're able to get at least the 3 different layers?
Yes, we are. We're looking into making it into 8-ounce cups, a little bit smaller. and also looking into making it push pops. We've done push pops before, ice cream push pops, and we're looking into doing that because push pops is easy to grab and go, and that's been great for us in terms of doing that line of product. Because we do pints, we do ice cream pops, we do push pops, we do smaller cups. So we're gonna try to put it into an 8-ounce cup, and a push pop will work great for the layers.
Awesome.
Jason, how about you?
Yeah, like the two ladies before me, and I've been sharing some of these samples with my wife, and I did not share that one because I'll finish that myself. It was delicious. Not ever experiencing some of these flavors, and it's totally new, and I really did enjoy it. And additionally, yeah, I had the same concern that you couldn't get through all of it, so a smaller portion size would be helpful, I feel. What kind of volumes do you think you'll have to get to maybe draw in a co-packer that would be, to take on those volumes to be enough volume have you explored that, or you look to explore that with maybe
co-packing already for relationships? So we're kind of right now formulating ingredients and getting some packaging to get the volume that we agreed upon with them. They already gave us a benchmark volume of what they will take for us to get there. So we're close to there already.
Okay.
That's great. Harry, how about you?
Great job. I'm also enjoying as we speak the ice cream. It's just love the flavors. Love mango. I'm Guatemalan, so all the Latin America. It's the power to flavors of Caribbean and Latin America. And actually, kudos to the power couple duo entrepreneurs. So that's awesome. And I will love to hear more about how you're planning to use that unique story of Caribbean coming to America, flavors from Latin America or the Caribbean to sell your product. And also would love to hear more on, we see all the trends that everybody is either going plant-based milks or going like low sugar or no flour. You're actually like unapologetically, just like going in for the cake and ice cream. And so is this part of the story, and how could you plan to leverage it, or are you planning as well to just like move some type in the horizon to just like a more in line with people are looking for, less sugar, more kind of streamlined ingredients?
Yes, definitely. What we do, we're ice cream makers, so we make all kinds of ice cream. We currently make a low sugar ice cream. I make no sugar ice cream for anyone who has that diet. I make custom ice creams for people. So we do have a line of product that we have no sugar, gluten-free cakes and things like that, because we make those things, gluten-free cake, gluten-free cookies. We do have that. So a matter of, basically combining, those flavors into an ice cream, into a split pint. So part of the money that we're using is basically growing our product. All the money is going to go straight into our product, because we need to act, just like you said, even for ourselves, we do non-dairy a lot. We do low sugar. We do no sugar. We do keto. We follow diets. We have a lot of our customers who actually come to us because we have product lines already that cater to them. We have people who are gluten-free. We have people who are allergy-free. We have people who are nut-free. So we do it all. We do nut-free ice creams. We do vegan ice creams. We do sugar-free ice creams. So we need the funds to actually grow our product line, and we definitely can have the split pint catered to anyone's diet. And everyone will love the flavors no matter what.
Very cool. Thank you.
We have time for one or two more questions. If any of the judges has a second question they'd like to ask.
What is the shelf life on the ice cream with the cake on top?
We tested 6 months. So we did like a 6-month shelf, traditional ice cream kind of storage.
Okay.
We did that. We try to keep it as natural as possible, so we don't really use any artificial additives. So we kind of trying to formulate certain things with the co-packer to kind of support this. But 6 months shelf.
Thank you.
Perfect. Well, thank you all so much. I wish you the best of luck with the rest of the evening. And now we are going to go to our third startup of this evening. Let us go to Spilt.
This can't be fun. Is someone forcing you to do this? Blink twice if you need help. No, please, don't do it, please. And there you go. Why would you do this to yourself? Why is this even a thing? Because you want to be better. That's why. You want to keep up with those little hellions. You want to show your boss who's boss. You want to show Rob your better side. Hi, Rob. So no, you're not crazy. You're better. And that's why you drink better. Low sugar, high protein, caffeinated chocolate milk. Spilt. It's freaking delicious.
Hi, I'm Josh Mendenhall, founder of Spilt Chocolate Milk. That awkward kid was me as a teenager. You could find me on the basketball court, the soccer field, or the skate park. I was an active kid, and you could always find me chugging chocolate milk. Chocolate milk grew up with us from the elementary school cafeteria to the late-night convenience store runs with our high school friends. As teenagers get older and leave high school into adulthood, they are also leaving behind drinking milk. And here I am now, a little older with a few wrinkles, still out there trying to live my best life. I still absolutely love chocolate milk. And seriously, I throw back a chocolate milk every single day. We all try to keep ourselves healthy and stay active, but now we need something different. We want something that tastes good, but also awakens us and gives us the energy we need to go out there and crush it every day. We search for that perfect pick-me-up beverage, either first thing in the morning, after a workout, or when we just need that afternoon kick in the pants. And we often turn to zero nutritional value sodas or ridiculously high sugary drinks. This is why I'm creating this new category with Spilt, a new dairy-based chocolate dairy energy drink. Spilt is the caffeinated drink your mom would approve of. A delicious, high-protein drink that is filled with rich, creamy chocolate and has a kick of caffeine to get you off your butt so you can take charge of your day. Spilt chocolate milk is something different, something that you can feel good about drinking, something that does a body good with naturally occurring vitamins and minerals, gives you the quick energy you need, but also has enough nutritional value to keep you going, all while delivering a deep, smooth chocolate flavor that you crave all day long. And we are starting with two different products. Both are high protein, low sugar, and you don't need lactose to get your calcium. We skipped that. So chug away. The first product is dark mode. That has 140 milligrams of caffeine to help jumpstart your soul. And second, light mode with 60 milligrams of caffeine to help you get it out of that afternoon slump. Spilt is more than a high protein, low sugar, caffeinated chocolate drink that makes you look forward to chug time as soon as you get up in the morning. It's a statement that you confidently hold in your hand that requires the attention of everyone you encounter, whether you're walking to the gym, on the campus, or the office. Soon, everyone will be asking you, what is that and where can I get some? And we aren't only focused on high quality ingredients and great taste, but we obsess about the environment. That's why Spilt has been beautifully designed in a 12-ounce aluminum can because of its environmental benefits over plastic. Cans have on average 68% recycled content compared to just 3% for plastic bottles. Aluminum is infinitely recyclable. Plastic is not. And of all the aluminum produced since 1888, over 75% of it is still in current use. And energy drinks are a huge market. Globally, $61.2 billion is spent on energy drinks yearly, with the largest group of buyers coming from the United States. And this category is not slowing down. Now, when you think about energy drinks, do you think healthy? Probably not, because these drinks can be weighed down with crazy amounts of sugar and other ingredients you aren't familiar with. Now think about dairy-based drinks. These drinks are loaded with important nutrients like calcium, potassium, vitamin D, and obviously the protein. Spilt will bring a healthy alternative to a market filled with sugary, unhealthy drinks. And we plan to bring Spilt to market first through digital channels, including Spilt.com and Amazon, so we can iterate quickly, learn more about our consumers, and be able to provide reoccurring delivery subscriptions to them. We also plan to expand our sales into convenience and grocery stores quickly. And like the best consumer brands, the Spilt team plans to heavily utilize social media from Instagram to TikTok and Snapchat to Twitter. All these different platforms offer us the perfect launch pads for storytelling, product launches, and new initiatives. And to accelerate our digital presence, we are developing influencer programs with athletes, micro-influencers, and engaging with our consumers to be brand champions, so they will spread the word on why they choose to chug Spilt. The best brands in the world have become even better media companies, and I plan to leverage my 20 plus years of creative marketing and the experience I have gained over those years working with brands like Post, Pop Sockets, North Face, and hundreds more. And with the correct groundwork and team of creatives to back up our marketing campaigns, our messaging will tell a story to be remembered. Our audience will engage with our brand, become repeat buyers, and then turn into brand ambassadors who won't stop talking about Spilt. Our team currently consists of creating marketing experts, dairy experts with a deep network of additional dairy partners, flavor and formulation experts that have experience in both dairy and energy beverage creation. And this is the team to build and lead the dairy energy category. So if your younger self is craving a way to keep enjoying chocolate milk, join the Spilt Chug Club and join us on this delicious and good for you journey. Thank you.
Josh, welcome to the stage. I could have used you this morning at a 4 a.m. wake up to catch a flight, and I knew that I had Spilt back in the fridge at home. So I was thinking about you as I was getting on the plane.
Awesome, love to hear it.
I'm going to turn it over here to our judges, and Neil, why don't we start with you?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, Josh. Great story. Tasty product. I'm having mine now and had some this morning. Nice sensory. Just to get right to it, I think it took me too long to get to energy and protein. I think looking at it, and I know it's hard to find that balance of being horsey with your claims, or being too sheepish. I had trouble finding that it was caffeinated quickly. That might surprise you. But I think energy plus protein, high quality protein, is clearly a strong positioning. It just took me a little longer than you might have expected to get to that, to understand that, looking at it. With the word caffeinated above chocolate milk in cursive and so tiny, maybe just something to think about. I thought it was interesting that, what do these cost approximately? What is the price on shelf?
So right now, what we've done, I started this about 6 months ago. What you're tasting is our first pilot production.
Yeah.
And so the goal, what we're hoping to do is to get into about the dollar range of COGS, giving us enough margin to be able to sell through D2C and Amazon, but more importantly, have enough margin to continue our expansion through grocery and C-stores.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I just mentioned it because you don't have a natural claim. It's interesting, sucralose plus cane. I mean, it's a nice sensory, right? You're not picking in a negative way, and that is a nice way to do it, where you're using some real sugar, but cutting down on it through some other ingredients versus, for example, having stevia do all the heavy lifting, which is never going to taste good. So it's an interesting balance you're using there that seems to work. But in a nutshell, I think getting to that positioning of protein plus energy a little quicker would help you out.
No, that's great feedback. And just to kind of talk to that a little bit, as we were kind of developing this product, the question kept coming is, what is the number one thing? What's the most important thing that we need to be when we create this product? And for us, it was to be tasty. Like we want people to search for this in the grocery store. We can do a lot of awesome creative marketing to get people to buy it once, but more importantly, we want people to keep coming back. And so that taste was like the number one thing. We had to make it taste good. We had to have it like a really good chocolate, a really good mouthfeel. But then as people grab onto it, they learn more about the benefits. They can understand that. But you're exactly right, Neil. Like there's so many things. It's high protein, low sugar, lactose free, caffeinated. What do you start with? And I live in a world where I like to test. I'm going to be testing as much as possible so I can understand what resonates. And that's why the plan is to first go through digital channels like Spilt.com, Amazon, so we can put out a ton of messaging about each one of those kind of benefits and see what resonates, see what's going to grab the consumer, and then make sure that we can position the product in a really smart way that's going to have the biggest impact.
Nice, thank you.
Yep.
Very cool. Farley, let's turn to you. They said taste a bunch. So I'd love the chef's point of view.
Absolutely. I will say I am a general consumer of high protein in my diet. I'm also a consumer of protein shakes as well as coffee from a caffeinated standpoint. So this was right up my alley. It also was interesting to me that, I'm curious from the target audience that you're going after, you're up against some big competition just in the energy platform, in everything that's out there in energy, as well as in high protein. I love the fact that it's lower in carb and you still get that 20-gram call out for your protein. But how are you planning on getting edgy enough to try to edge some of that other, energy drink piece out there? Again, I think to Neil's point, the caffeinated piece plays a big part in it, but also I just think that the protein that you're not going to get in some of those other energy products is a game changer. I really want to see you do well on this platform because I enjoyed your product a whole lot. And it's not something that I wouldn't, as my kids grow into adults, be, worried about them consuming in a lot of ways that I think a lot of the other energy products are a little dangerous. And so I'm curious as to how you're going to try to edge them out.
I know that's a fantastic question. And I think you had mentioned something that I actually presented in the pitch, is that this is the caffeinated drink that your mom would approve of. We're really going after keeping kids drinking chocolate milk or milk in general. And as they get older, they leave that behind and they start grabbing onto these other energy drinks that you talked about. Again, like you had mentioned, I didn't want to go too high. I feel like there's a danger in having too much caffeine. So we kept it about the same, as a cup of coffee to a small energy drink. But how we plan to edge those other competitors out is just through the social engagement, the creative marketing, and making it a product that is freaking delicious. It's so good. As you see people come out of like a C-store or even like a convenience store, that's a great example. You'll see a lot of people who in the morning, they will grab both of these drinks. They will grab a chocolate milk and then they'll grab a energy drink. And that's why I thought of this idea as I was doing it. I sat down at my desk almost every morning and I had these two drinks and I thought, I don't need both of these. How do we combine them? And so just educating, what I hope to be able to do is educating the benefits of dairy so much to these consumers, of what it does, health benefits like the calcium, protein, all these things that they can still get. So a healthy alternative to these energy drinks. That's really what we plan to be able to do, is tell that story.
Fantastic. Great. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah.
Aaron, let's turn it over to you.
All right, great. Hi, Josh. Thanks for the presentation. Actually, the product's really good. I grabbed one yesterday. I was dragging after a day at work, and I was thinking, and I was going to work out, and I was like, do I want to drink this before or after? Because it kind of works on both fronts. And I did drink it before just to get me going and get me through. But when talking about the formulation in the presentation, you mentioned that it was lactose free. Was that a piece that you went through? I wanted to go into some of that because in my dealings with ice cream, again, we ran into that. And it's actually a nice little selling point on there.
Yeah, I think there's so many different pieces to this. Do we talk about the high protein, the caffeine, the sugar, the lactose free? What we're doing on the formulation side is we're getting ultra filtered milk, UF85 milk, adding lactase to it, and also with the cream that's added, we're adding lactase to that as well. So it's a great selling point, and I think for me personally, and like I said, this is very new, very early, and so I'm learning a lot what resonates the most, and so I leaned in towards the taste side. And I think as we keep growing, we're going to be trying these different messages to see what resonates with the consumer and what resonates with the largest group of consumers to make sure that they understand what's in this functional beverage.
Great.
All right, you mentioned marketing a few times. That leads me to Claudia.
Yeah. So I'm definitely the kind of person that you described. I grab like a couple energy drinks in the morning, working on the farm all day. So definitely love this product. Again, on the lactose-free thing that we were talking about, we have a couple other brands out there that are doing it, obviously like Fairlife. How do you plan to kind of market it? I know you said you can go in as many different directions, but when we talk about like Fairlife and lactose-free, would you plan to even further on? I know you just kind of are starting out, but maybe do an energy-free drink version of this?
Yeah, 100%. Like that's exactly right. So Again, number one is taste, and we want to make sure that people just love this product. But we have toyed around a lot with the idea of, and my wife specifically for my little girl, she's like, man, we can't have all of this high caffeine stuff in our fridge that she's not going to be able to drink. And she's pretty young, so it's something that we've definitely been talking about. But as I think about like what the brand really represents, and that's why this has been created, is giving something people that, and you saw it in the video, I want people to drink better so they can feel better. Hopefully that helps them be better people, and then in the end live better lives. Like that's exactly what we're after with this brand and with this product.
Awesome.
All right, Josh, we were in the chat. I was just throwing on our screen here. I was getting all sorts of notes of the Red Bull of milk. You've got some big targets to go after.
Yeah, big guys to go after.
But well, thank you for your time. And now we're gonna do a quick just 2-minute intermission here to let everyone think about those three, and then we're gonna bring back the final contestants. And so we just want to show you this quick video on what it would mean to win this program from the founders, as well as what they got out of the program so far. So we'll be back in just a second. All right. It's always cool to see how much everyone's gotten out of this and what the opportunities are in front of them. So now let's get right back to it. Next up, we have JD and Shay by Novel Foods.
Who wants some milk? Me. Some for you, some for you, and...
It doesn't make much sense to throw away 3/4 of your milk. But that's exactly what happens every year in the yogurt industry, who produces 1.7 billion pounds of unusable and, unless treated, harmful waste called acid whey. Our revolutionary green treatment process converts this otherwise unusable milk byproduct into a high-quality protein for human consumption. It's a discovery that's about a lot more than just spilled milk.
Hello, my name is JD Sethi. I'm the founder of Novel Foods.
And I'm Darm Khalsa, our CFO.
Novel was started with one simple mission: to develop sustainable alternatives to plant and animal protein to feed the growing population. Today, the world has two challenges. The population is growing and we are wasting too much food. Novel is driven to address these problems by transforming food waste to high-quality, safe food for human consumption. Our solution is biomass fermentation. Biomass fermentation is the process of growing naturally occurring microorganisms and then harvesting them for food or protein source. Biomass fermentation is much more efficient than traditional agriculture because, unlike plants and animals that take months and years to reproduce or grow, microbes grow in a matter of hours. It's also much cheaper to do biomass fermentation because the microbes can grow on cheap substrates or cheap media. Novel Foods uses Greek yogurt acid whey, the waste product of Greek yogurt production, to grow lactic acid bacteria or yogurt bacteria. The protein from this bacteria has a very good has an excellent amino acid profile, but also the taste and flavor profile makes it suitable to be used as a functional ingredient to a variety of foods. Process is simple. We start with acid whey. We add a source of nitrogen to it, and then ferment it with lactic acid bacteria. How much acid whey is out there? Plenty. 3.7 billion pounds a year, to be precise. That's how much acid whey is produced. New York produces about 1 billion acid whey a year. 1 billion pounds. Acid whey is a nuisance for a lot of yogurt producers. They can't get rid of it. But for us, it's a gold mine because it has the right pH for the microbe growth. It contains vitamins and minerals that can improve the growth of microbes. And it is very high in carbohydrates, lactose that is, that really supports the microbe growth. It lacks in nitrogen. That is where intellectual property, our innovation comes into play. We've developed a technology we call cold plasma technology. It creates nitrogen from air and water. The operational cost of this technology is very low as well. Ultimately, we want to move to getting nitrogen from dairy waste. We are working with a number of anaerobic digesters in the state of New York to extract nitrogen from the digestate that's a byproduct for them. The market for all proteins is growing, 290 billion in 2035, that's the estimate, which is 14% CAGR between now and 2035. Our competition, we have some people who are competing against us who are already in the marketplace, but we have a significant advantage, competitive advantage, because our cost of production is the lowest, our microbes are non-GMO, are safer and are safest to consume, and our environmental footprint is very, very small.
As you can see here from the revenue projections, after our initial R&D phase, we launched in 2024. At 25% capacity, we would have 5 million in revenue, and at 50% capacity, we would have 10 million in revenue. After that, we would look at a strategic partner to further scale and grow. If you look at the initial phase unit economics, selling at $4 a pound, we're able to achieve a 60% contribution margin. And at scale, we're able to move the selling price down to $2 a pound, which is competitive with the market, and maintain our margins through certain cost efficiencies. If you look at the leadership team, we have experience across numerous startups, extensive capital raise in the venture capital and private equity worlds, and quite a few patents under our belt as well. We also have a team of advisors and collaborators that have expertise in their respective scientific fields. As you can see, we've already raised $350,000 to date. We're currently in process on another $500,000, and we're working on our Series A round of $2 million as well.
So let's together feed the world.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the stage, JD and Dharm. I love that you guys are upcycling. It's an incredible trend, and the science behind this is really impressive. I'm going to turn it over to the judges here. Jennifer, why don't you go first?
All right, I'm right on the spot, huh?
Oh yeah.
So great product. I love the play on sustainability using whey protein. Quick question, because the packaging says Greek yogurt protein. So I was wondering, where do you want this merchandise in the store? Is it going to be by supplements? Is it supposed to be by where powdered milks are? Just trying to get an idea of where you want this.
Yeah, I think it will be merchandised next to supplements, right next to protein shakes, right next to whey proteins, right next to I really see this as an item that will be a great fit for direct to consumer, because this is shelf stable. It can ship anywhere. This will be a great, and this is the only product. This is our first product, or the first attempt at creating a consumer product out of our technology. Already in the pipeline, we have a couple of other formats of this product. For example, we are working on sachets. So the sachets would be on the go. So you're on the go, you want protein. We're also working with mixing electrolytes with protein. So something like a nun tablet. So those would be our primary business customer would be we would be a B2B business mainly. So our business mainly would sell to other food companies to integrate our protein into their product. For example, we saw Spilt milk, and we also saw the keto, the elite donuts. So they could be great customers for us. And our goal, our mission, our goal, our dream is to create food from waste. We've been working on fermentation for years. This is our third fermentation company actually. Dharma and I, a year ago, we started a fermentation company where we were fermenting all kinds of almonds and coconuts, and we developed almond milk yogurts and almond milk yogurt drinks, and so for that business, we make almond milk yogurt for almost every retailer in the country because we do more private label. Although we come from the CPG world, we believe that in order to make a difference, we want to go back where the masses, where the volume is, and we would like to supply food innovators and food manufacturers with our protein so that they can go out and win over customers with their technology and with their methods.
Great. Harry, how about you?
Yeah, thank you, Fred. I always just say it's very impressive. I'm super impressed with the upcycling message. Congratulations. I'm blown away. I cannot wait to try. I have mine here. I honestly have two questions. One will be more conceptual on how you use that upcycling story to further differentiate your product, because for us that will hear it, it's blowing my mind. For a consumer that sees this next to a supplement in a store, then how we can quickly convey all the things that you were doing because I think that's what the true differentiator of this product, because no question is high quality protein, but so are many others, right? Direct to consumer or in the store. But the true story of the upcycling and the technology and everything I put is actually a really great story that we don't see. I know you're in very early stages of your packaging, but I think more than a question, encouragement, or how you're thinking about that, because that is a way in that I don't see here, and I think it blew my mind as you were talking. That was the first one, and then if you get the funds, where the funds are going, tell us a little bit more about that one.
Yeah, so we've done all the work that we've done has been lab scale. So we've partnered with a university in Denmark. We've partnered with Florida A&M University. We're working with University of Arkansas. We have a grad student at Florida A&M that is working on nitrogen, cold plasma nitrogen. So all the work that we've done so far has been lab scale. So we've proven the technology on lab scale. We've set up a little fermenter, and whatever product you saw was actually made in our lab. We sent the product from the lab to a commercial spray dryer. They spray dried the product for us. We've got it back and we made the sample. So we are at very early stage. What our next stage is to go to a pilot scale. And for the pilot scale, we need to further refine the technology. And to get to the pilot scale, we have to design a reactor. So we are working with Borja, who is one of our advisors, Borja Verdes. I don't know whether you have access to the deck, and I can send you the deck. This bio is there. So he's gonna be working with us in designing the reactor. So we believe by the end of next year, or by Q3 of next year, we would have the reactor design. The reactor will be fabricated by a company called Aurum Technologies. They're based in Spain. So I met with them I was actually on a real world tour last month. So I went to Spain and met with them, and I saw what they can do for us in terms of their reactor design. Small company. So once the reactor design is finalized, they are going to develop the reactor for us. So far, our commitment from them is that they'll deliver a reactor to us by Q3 of next year. And then installation and commissioning, we are giving ourselves 3 months, or Q1 of 2024. So the money that we are raising right now, we've raised $350 so far. We need money to finish our R&D. We need money to do for pilot scale work. And we look at our businesses in 2 phases. One phase is we go out, like Jennifer said, how do you convince the customer that this is a product that they should buy, because where will the product sell? So to answer this question is our phase one. Our scale would be very, very small. We do own a factory because this was Dharm and I. We sold a business called Delicious, and we got into because we put in our own money, started a factory, and so all the work, pilot work, would be done in this factory. But for phase two is when the real work starts for us. That is when we are gonna get. And we don't believe in going out there and raising $200 million for phase two. We'll probably tie up with a company like ADM. ADM, they're in the protein business. So we started talking to them about coming in as somebody to help us take this technology to phase two and to the massive scale.
Very cool.
Perfect.
Daphne, let's turn to you.
Fermentation is fascinating, and I would say I'm very happy I am in this panel because it is one of the big priorities for Kraft Heinz for the future. Curious to hear from you your decision of just not selling the technology and stopping there and creating a great technology that a company that's big as Kraft Heinz could just buy it and partner up with you versus transforming this into a consumer-facing product. What is the rationale?
That's definitely an option we would consider as entrepreneurs. We basically, our goal is to make things happen and keep making progress. And, as entrepreneurs, you make decisions and you keep making progress and things change. We're very comfortable with ambiguity. We don't have all the answers today. We won't have all the answers tomorrow, but we are okay with that. We are okay. We fail fast. So, definitely if an opportunity arises where a company wants to partner with us to help us really take this technology to the marketplace, although our background is CPG, I would rather focus on we would rather focus on the back end. So that's a decision we've already made. And that's why I said we rather focus on making a product for other people to innovate with. So if an alliance with somebody like Kraft Heinz gives us that opportunity, absolutely we'll jump at that.
I love the comfort with ambiguity. That's like it should be taught to every entrepreneur in the world. Jason, what about you?
Yeah, thanks, Fred. Hey, JD, this product's really interesting and exciting to me. The research on all these the functionality of dairy products that we don't use that are on the waste stream, and you're turning into a value-added, highly functional food for people to consume. It's a great thing, particularly that you're maybe focusing less on the almond milk, because as a dairy farmer, I'd rather see you do the whey side. So throw that out there. A follow-up little bit question on your phase two. Where would you locate it? Where are you looking to locate a factory? Is it you're from the South? That's my question.
So I'm in Massachusetts right now. We plan to get all our whey from, like, New York State produces about 1 billion pounds of acid whey a year. So we plan to source our acid whey from state of New York. So very proud to be a neighboring state of state of New York. For our phase two, we will use dairy waste. What better place to go than New York State? It is. And we are looking at, last I saw, there were 28 anaerobic digesters. And again, my data is old. You might have the correct data. The number of 80 sites, anaerobic digester sites in New York State. So we're also talking to we're talking to several anaerobic digesters to see if we can co-locate with them. In order to really make a difference, we have to we have to lower our reliance on fossil fuel. So we really want to co-locate with either a yogurt producer or we want to co-locate with anaerobic digester. So when we talk about, if you look at our first phase or phase two, I think state of New York would be the site that we will be looking at. We want to be in state of New York. There is, Chobani is there, Faye is there. The top yogurt producers are in state of New York. There's so many cows in New York, so that makes a very natural fit for us. But I just want to add on something. The technology doesn't stop at cheese whey or acid whey. We can use the same technology for spent grains from breweries. I know Harry's background is Anheuser-Busch, so I'm sure his ears would perk up a little. So there's a lot of work done there. So we can apply this technology to aquafaba. and aquafaba, bean processors, hummus makers, chickpea producers, they use aquafaba. We can go to in the Northeast, there's a trend where they're starting a lot of greenhouses to grow things like tomatoes, because nobody wants to truck tomatoes all the way from California. So there's a local movement. There's an 80-acre greenhouse in the state of Maine. There's another 150-acre greenhouse here in the state of, I think it's somewhere in New England. So, but they generate tremendous amount of waste that could be a gold mine for us. So our goal is, so we are not limited to all the way, like phase one. I think, I can't.
I'm sorry to cut you off. We've got to keep everybody in the same time zone. But thank you. That was awesome. And yeah, this is you got a dream panel here. Both Daphne and Harry were former AB InBev. I thought Daphne was about to do a deal live on the show, which would have really made this pretty interesting. We got Neil from Chobani.
Well, I thought I could share my email. They can see my name there. I'm very easy to find.
Oh, no worries. We'll make all the connections. But JD, thank you so much, and thank you, judges. Those questions were great. Let's turn to our fifth startup. This is Kelly and Shelly from True Scoops.
Hi guys, my name is Shelly, and along with my business partner Kelly, we founded the brand True Scoops. We make shelf-stable ice cream and topping mixes that create a better ice cream making experience for the average home user. To begin the story of how our brand was formed, I feel like I need to introduce us a bit. Kelly and I are ice cream makers by trade with over 15 years of experience in the business. We both met at ice cream school at Penn State 7 years ago. Yep, there's an ice cream school, when Kelly saved me from getting lost on the way to one of our sessions and freezing in 10-degree weather. Almost 10 years of friendship and 2 separate ice cream businesses later, here we are. Even as a professional ice cream maker, it didn't actually occur to me how time-consuming the process is until I did it at home with my kids during the pandemic. I mean, you have to heat milk, cream, sugar, add tempered eggs, and the base needed to be aged overnight or up to 4 hours. At the time, the kids were 3 and 4, and they were just not trying to hear that they had to wait north of 7 hours for homemade ice cream. In my head, I thought that there must have been an easier way to make ice cream at home with the same traditional ingredients and results. And this is how we started the brand. When I began testing in the kitchen, I knew that the product needed to have these qualities. The whole premise of the mix is that it should reduce prep time. That meant no cooking over stovetop. It had to be shelf-stable, lightweight, and needed to travel well. I didn't want to have to buy more than one additional ingredient like you have to with most baking mixes. Ingredients needed to be comparable to that of a premium pint of ice cream. Lastly, I didn't want someone to have to go out and buy expensive equipment to be able to make it. They had to be able to make it with something they already had at home, like a blender. A packet of True Scoops embodies all of these qualities. There has been growing market opportunity for DIY activities since the pandemic. Even though you might think that it's reached its peak, most people continue to work from home full-time or splitting time between home and the office. I mean, all you need to do is open TikTok and see how people are continuing to show their talents in the kitchen and becoming more creative. For 2022, it's expected that the DIY food and beverage market will grow to almost $12 billion. We don't know where ice cream fits into this overall market, but we believe that our product is well fitted to dominate the space. When we started the business last summer, we intended on building our direct-to-consumer model, focusing our target audience, which are parents of children from 4 to 12. We targeted this audience because we feel like the lifetime value of this customer is a lot longer than, say, a single person with no kids. This customer is likely already making other homemade treats like cookies, brownies, and cupcakes. DIY ice cream would be a welcomed addition to their pantry. At the moment, we're in about 50 independent retailers across the country at all Central Market locations. We do sell direct to consumer on our website and on Amazon. And we found a lot of success in subscription boxes and corporate gifting programs. We've had a tremendous amount of success here with companies like Bespoke, BoxFox, and Stack Magic. Our product is highly giftable, and was particularly popular during the holidays as a stocking stuffer. Because of us, a lot of these large gifting companies have created an ice cream category where they naturally wouldn't have been able to before. Most of our revenue so far is from B2B business that we've seen a steady rise in our direct-to-consumer business. We're at $85,000 in year-to-date sales and predict we will close off the year around $150,000. The goal for 2023 is to open more doors in independent specialty stores, but also bigger retailers like Target and Trader Joe's. Our brand is made up of dairy-based ice cream mixes and topping mixes. We launched with a combination of 5 SKUs, but our goal is to expand into other product lines like vegan, sugar-free, and sorbet mixes. We see a huge opportunity for our brand to enter the hospitality space. We can help restaurants, hotels, and even small ice cream shops save on cold storage, wastage, and prep time. And so our goal is to develop large bulk sizes for this purpose. Honestly, our customer feedback is what we expected. They love the branding and vibrant packaging. They love the ease of the product and the fact that an ice cream maker is not required. But if you had one, all the better. They love that it's shelf stable for up to 18 months and they don't have to rush to make it. They love that it can pronounce every single ingredient in our mixes. This product was meant for you to have an easier time in the kitchen when making ice cream, and it's meant for you to get creative as possible with the flavors. That's why we started with 3 basic flavors of vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry. At the end of it all, our goal is to make homemade ice cream cool again, and we think we're doing that one pantry at a time.
I absolutely love this as having a 3-year-old that will dive into it. And I want to go to ice cream school when I retire from Venture Fuel. Kelly, welcome to the stage.
Thank you.
It's great to have you. Farley, why don't we start with you?
Oh, Shelly and Kelly, this was really fun. And I will say, so I'm married to a professional chef as well. Our kids think that they know everything. They ate this ice cream, and they are 12, 11, and 9. And so they're ice cream connoisseurs as well. They ate the ice cream. They loved it. They thought the texture was really good. We agree. The flavors were right on. I think what I really enjoyed about this was the fact that it left room for innovation. So you can add a bunch of things to it as well. You can make it your own, and it gives that feeling of creating something on your own. That was really fun from a family perspective. From an industry perspective, I'm curious if you have plans to do things like individual serving. And I say this from the convenience store perspective of, we do smoothies and milkshakes in-house in my brand. And I'm wondering, from a made to order perspective, in single serving to add into a dairy base, is that something that is on the horizon for you to think about as you're getting into more industrial type manufacturing process?
Yes. The reason why we started with the size that we're at, because it makes 2 pints, it's because of who our target audience was. But we are working to get a smaller size that probably yields about 2 scoops of ice cream. But that, I think, is a separate customer. A mother with 3 kids, like yourself, Fairly, it wouldn't be enough for the family. So right now the packaging suits the target audience, but yes, that is on the horizon for a smaller packet, maybe a 12 packet, a box, similar to how you buy like a Swiss Miss in a box, and you could just pull a packet and make 2 scoops with a blender.
Give me a call when you get to that point.
Absolutely.
Very cool. Aaron, let's go to you next.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you guys for the presentation, for the product. A lot of fun putting it together, and the quality was really there too. Because I was thinking more like you guys said, who you're selling to, that the process is what you're buying here, but actually like a very quality product. So I wrote down, and I was taking notes. I swear this is going to be one real point, but it sounds like a whole bunch of different ones. So I think it's mostly a merchandising question. So it's the DIY future, that it's giftable. Parents of 4 to 12-year-olds with repeat purchases in there rather than just a one-time try. Where are we putting this, and what kind of stores are we putting it into? Because even your list is really scattered. Central is one of our customers. But then you have Target coming in, and we have direct through Amazon, and through this startup stage, you kind of figure out where it's going to stick, of course. But I want to know, like, in this 3 to 5 year, if all goes well in both of your heads, where is this being sold? in the store, online, and what you would rank as like most important things for you both?
Yes. Well, right now, most of our revenue is coming in from the corporate gifts and the subscription boxes. But our goal within the next 1 to 3 years is to get on shelf. And I know we're at Central Market, and we want to be in the baking aisle. We hope that we do well in the baking aisle, because let's just be real. The lady walking down that aisle is going to make cookies, brownies, or cupcakes. She's on a mission, right? If we were anywhere else, that would be a separate customer. So we want to catch her where she's at. So we'd be right next to the Renewal Mills or maybe a Betty Crocker, but that's on the lower end of the spectrum of price. But we'll be right there with those guys, because she's on a mission to make something DIY. We're right next to the sprinkles, the cones, the brownies, the cupcakes. So we see ourselves being there, but because we've not had more than Central Market as a benchmark, we don't know if we do well there. We'd love to go in and test in a couple of places, maybe on a clipboard next to the half and half, maybe on an end cap right next to the sprinkles. So it's a sense of us going in and testing and seeing what's the right price point and what's the right area in the planogram for us.
Yeah, that's the number one question that we get. So I was waiting for somebody to say it.
I will say that the photo you had in the pitch deck, though, with all the different the cakes, like your brand stands out there pretty dramatically.
That, yes.
I actually took that with that purpose to see, like, how do we fit? We have really cool packaging. How is it going to stand amongst the competitors, future competitors? And everybody else has these lifestyle images. There's a lot of copy and text. And so a simple color blocked packaging really does stick out and shine. So we were really pleasantly surprised by that. So we think it's going to be a real eye grabber in that aisle, even though folks aren't expecting necessarily to find ice cream mix. But hopefully that's like a surprise and delight kind of situation.
Cool. Neil, let's turn it over to you.
Yeah. Hey guys, thank you. Agree. I love the artwork. Nailed it. Bold and fun. The flavors of the ice cream, I made it myself, were spot on. Great ingredient list. It's hard not to taste good with that much half and half, of course, which I love. It was hard for me to make. I don't have an ice cream machine. I actually do have an ice cream maker, but I've used it like once in 10 years. I might not be the target here, but I mixed it with the half and half, froze it in the ice tray, blended in the blender, put it back in the freezer. I did feel like it was a lot of steps, and I was thinking, man, that half and half cost $3. Your sachet cost a few bucks.
Yeah.
Man, Haagen-Dazs would be really cheap right now.
Yeah.
So I think, the segmenting of consumers, I've learned, is just so critical. Who are you talking to? What are you resolving exactly? Clearly, you're not resolving someone who is happy to go buy a tub of Haagen-Dazs, because it's probably going to be maybe cheaper and super tasty also. I wasn't thinking that this is more of a DIY, almost like arts and crafts kind of moment for a family. And I have three young girls, as someone else mentioned, in that 10-year-old zone. I could see that. With that said, I think what would make it 10 times cooler is if the net result of the whole exercise was something much cooler looking.
Okay.
So what you end up with in this process is a tub of ice cream. And of course, you can go decorate and do cool things. I think if it came with a pop mold, and you could actually, because when you did the initial freeze in the ice cube trays, I thought, man, that's a really cool product right there. And then you go on to blend it and turn it into a blended ice cream. And especially hearing you guys say it's the direct to consumer, there might be more of a kit idea here, where the ice cream mix is part of it, but then also that mold, or what are you forming this into? I think for the DIYer, especially, and the parents, it's such a cooler reveal than another bowl of ice cream.
Yeah,
I agree. To me, it would be much higher value add of that payoff at the end with something totally unique and cool, like a ice cream novelty kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. We totally agree. Yeah, we totally agree. We if it's within our goals to have a complete kit. Like, the mom shouldn't have to do anything besides buy the half and half. She'd have the bowl with her. She'd have a scoop. She'd have some novelties, maybe a little apron for the kids. but it's a one-stop shop. And I agree. It just
and
takes planning and some money.
Those pop molds exist. You know, I could see a box where it has all these components, and then you end up with this thing you can hold. It's super cool. I thought.
And Neil, just to kind of tie back to your point about, there's a lot of steps and you have to freeze twice. We recognize that as, some may see that as like one step too many. And so we're actually already working on a new benchmark formula for our ice cream mixes to eliminate that step. So it's going straight from the blender, put the half and half with the mix in the blender straight to the freezer, and it will be scoopable. So we're eliminating an extra step, really working on that consumer experience and user experience. So that's something that's in the works that will be hopefully released next spring.
That's, I think, huge. And it also made me think of more, that milkshake kind of territory.
Oh, yeah. We're pushing the different types of things you could do with it. The milkshakes, the frappes, even hot chocolate. Trust, yes, we get it.
Very cool. Love it.
I love it. Claudia, I'm going to go to you. But first, I just have to say to the audience, in multiple places, people are asking, will they get to vote on their favorite tonight? And yes, you will. We will be showing you how to do that towards the right before we get to the finals. So that has come up in multiple places. So I just wanted to address that a little bit. But Claudia, let's go to you. What questions do you have?
Yeah, so I'm going to start off and say that I'm like the least amount I'm of DIY kind of person. I've always been terrible at it, but when I made this, it was like so much fun. I realized I should be doing it more, and it was so easy. So I actually really liked this product. Back to like the milkshakes and the frappes, this is a great way to promote dairy. I mean, everyone eats ice cream, but a lot of people that, aren't consuming dairy in their everyday lives might not think of ice cream as their number one, way to consume milk. I mean, a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, I don't like milk because it's fluid milk that they're talking about. It's not ice cream. Yeah. So I really like that idea. Can you expand a little bit more about your topping selection that you talked about? I had no idea that you guys had that. So that's awesome. Yeah. And then also like the milkshakes that you're going to possibly move towards.
Yes. So we have two toppings, two SKUs. We have hot fudge and salted butterscotch, and they're ready in minutes, literally 5 minutes on stovetop with half a cup of half and half. And you have thick, like in the video, thick hot fudge. So it's like in a DIY bucket, Neil, in a DIY packet right now, you'd get one flavor of ice cream, one flavor of hot fudge, custom sprinkles, and 2 custom spoons. And we're hoping to add stuff to that. But the toppings is what actually is the reason why people are so gung-ho for the brand, because it's like a ice cream shop in a sort of box. And what was the other question around the milkshakes? Throughout every process of making the product, like right before you put it into the bowl and cover it over, that itself is a thick milkshake. So you can eat it, you can have that right away. If you wanted to put the hot fudge in between 2 layers of cake, it becomes hot fudge. If you wanted to Kelly added the salted butterscotch to her coffee because she didn't have brown sugar. So it's all these different things. It's a base for like a whole bunch of different things. We just can't pack it all into the packaging. This is what the program would help us to get money so that we could convey all of these dynamic ways. These bases can facilitate different parts of the kitchen. So this is what the money would help us do. Really pump up the marketing, getting to know our consumer, really going out and doing demos. It's like, listen, have a scoop of this ice cream. This came from this packet of powder. What do you think? You know what I'm saying? Really get to know what they think outside of the emails and surveys that we do for direct to consumer. And that's what how the money would really help us to really punch up this subcategory in ice cream that doesn't exist.
I love that.
Yeah.
Shelly, Kelly, judges, thank you all so much.
Thanks, Fred.
And now we will go to our final startup of the evening, Mochidoki.
Imagination in every bite. A thin layer of soft, velvety mochi rice cake wrapped around a rich bite of ice cream. The only truly premium mochi ice cream, crafted using the finest ingredients sourced from around the globe. Mochidoki is more than a dessert or a simple snack. It's an experience.
Hello, I'm Claudio Locascio, CEO here at Mochidoki, and we are thrilled to be taking part in this year's competition along so many other great companies. Here at Mochidoki, we are all about elevating the mochi ice cream experience. Ever since we were founded right here in New York, around an apartment dining table, we have been obsessed with crafting the best tasting, most innovative product on the market. We started out small, literally going up and down the streets of Manhattan, knocking on doors to sell our mochi. And we soon found out that customers loved the product almost as much as we did, and quickly ended up in high-end restaurants like Nobu and Tao, who still serve our product today. We've grown a little bit since, but we've stayed true to our original vision and our New York roots, and we're just getting started. Mochi is an incredibly fast-growing category, and that growth is happening because it hits on all the things that today's consumers are looking for. It's snackable, portion-controlled, low-calorie, gluten-free. It really is the perfect permissible indulgence. So it really shouldn't come as a surprise that the mochi ice cream category has absolutely exploded over the past few years. We've seen this happen here in the US as My Mochi has grown year over year to become almost a household name. While over in the UK, Little Moons became a viral TikTok sensation and sold for over $150 million earlier this year. Mochi ice cream has arrived as a category and it's here to stay. And its growth is being driven by younger, more curious consumers. Gen Z is driving the trends now, and they're excited about what mochi represents. It's a bridge between cuisines and cultures, a way to explore something new, but at the same time familiar. You know you're onto something when the kids are making TikToks about your brand. So what is it? Quite simply, it's a bite of premium ice cream wrapped in a thin layer of mochi rice cake. It's gluten-free because mochi uses rice flour, it has less than 90 calories per piece, and it has a shelf life of 2 years. To make our mochi, we start by sourcing our custom formulated ice cream exclusively from producers right here in New York State. We then use our proprietary mochi dough recipe and combine and package everything in our own production facility. Although we ship across the country and even a little internationally, we are proud to be the only New York-based mochi company. This is not an easy product to make. There's no co-packers for it, and very few brands are willing to make it on their own, which leaves us plenty of room to shine. So what actually makes us better? First of all, we're obsessed with quality and use only the highest quality ingredients in our product to ensure that every bite is richly satisfying. We want people to say wow when they have their first bite and really savor that moment. And we find inspiration from all over the world, making everything from mango to matcha, from purple sweet potato to the cake batter flavor you all tried. With every bite, we promise to take our customers on a journey of discovery with us. We are committed to elevating the mochi ice cream experience with packaging that's both elegant and functional, preserving peak freshness while highlighting the premium nature of our mochi. In fact, we filed for a patent on our CPG tray because it represents such an innovation in the space. Today, I'm proud to say that Mochidoki has sold over 20 million pieces of mochi. We continue to expand in food service and are now available at restaurants all across the country. We've also built 2 of our own brick and mortar shops right here in New York City, which have allowed us to connect directly with our customers. And they keep coming back for more, with lines around the block every weekend. And we have a rapidly growing e-commerce business shipping directly to our fans nationwide. Now we're launching into grocery stores, which is the product we're submitting for this competition and what you all tasted. And as you can see, we think this new channel will really turbocharge our growth. For this launch, we selected 6 of our best-selling dairy flavors and packaged them in our truly unique 4-piece boxes. We're on the shelf for around $7.99, which is only $1 or so more than other products on the market. It's early days for us in this channel, but we're already seeing great success in premier grocery stores like Citarella here in New York and Central Market down in Texas. And we're looking to take this product to major specialty retailers and chains throughout the country over the coming years. We know we have an amazing product, and everyone who tastes it falls in love, as I hope you all did when you tried the sample. If we're fortunate enough to win this competition, we will use the proceeds to fund a significantly increased local presence in New York and the Northeast. Demos, pop-ups, in-store support, merchandising, really doing everything we can to get the product out there to as many people as possible. We've laid the foundation, our team is in place. Our customers are waiting, and with your help, we're ready to take New York Dairy across the country and become the first and only truly elevated mochi ice cream brand. Thank you.
Claudio, Gene, welcome to the stage. That was fantastic. They truly look like little pieces of art. They're so beautiful, the mochis you all make. So I'm excited to turn this over to the judges. Daphne, let's start with you.
I really enjoy. I'm a big mochi and mochi ice cream person. I would say compared to everything that I've seen before, is much more creamy. So you can really feel the elevated taste. With that in mind, I'm just curious about your margins. You're number one. It's everything about quality and everything that you do. So how that looks like?
Our business, as you heard, kind of operates across a number of different channels. So the margin structure varies, as you can imagine, a lot based on where we're selling the final product. So, in grocery stores, we made sure to plan in enough margin because we know the costs of getting in, doing the marketing, continuing to have the pull through once you launch in those stores. And so we were very intentional about how we set up our margin structure in that channel. And that's really where we're focusing on the future of the business. Direct to consumer e-commerce, shipping ice cream is expensive, so margins are a little tighter there. And then we have our restaurant business, which has been sort of the bedrock of the business so far, and has a very manageable margin structure for us. So it's a complicated answer because we operate in so many different channels, but we've been able to make it work. And especially as we grow, considering we have our own manufacturing. That really helps us in terms of ensuring that we have a sustainable margin structure.
Great. Jennifer.
Awesome. I love bringing in the cultural experience and making that mainstream. I think I love the texture of it. I love the cake batter that was sent. I do have a question as far as how you differentiate yourself from a competitor like My Mochi. I know they have like 6 instead of 4, and then it seems like you have a higher price point than they do. So how would you differentiate them so consumers will want to buy yours versus theirs?
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
Really, go ahead, Claudia.
I think you can kind of see it a lot in the packaging, right? For us, the mochi is front and center, and it's really all about the product and the quality and having that kind of wow moment when you first bite into it. And realizing that this is something different. Our target consumer is a little bit different than theirs. Theirs is more of a kind of novelty, just kind of having something different. And we're really taking the category to the next level and saying, there's all these great things about mochi as a format. We talked about portion control and gluten-free and all of those things, but let's also make it a really enjoyable, that permissible indulgence moment, and really allow us to, kind of serve something more than just a unique product, but a delicious product. And the packaging reflects that as well, right? With the slide out tray and everything, it's all about having that experience be, as pleasurable as possible for the consumer.
Yeah, I would just follow on and say, as Claudio mentioned, we're carried in very high-end restaurants like Nobu and Tao. And I think, being able to have that that support of those names behind us and the recognition and really the halo effect of those brands differentiates us already. And I think emphasizing that through packaging, through our social media and the conversations that we have every day online with our customers, we really can kind of feed into that whole piece about how important the ingredients and elevating this product are to us.
Harry, let's turn it to you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. I love them. I especially love the packaging, but I have a similar kind of prompt as Daphne, as like, is this very premium, amazing packaging? And if you're focusing a lot on the retail, on the restaurants and on-premise, is it necessary, all the packaging? Doesn't add extra cost? I'm just worried about your cost structure as well on how to scale this. Maybe we're too ABI trained to think that way. I don't know how similar questions on your costs and packaging, but
zero-based budgeting to start.
Oh, yeah, zero-based budget. Yeah. Talk to us about your cards and then the packaging.
Yeah, I think especially for us at launch, we wanted our product to stand out on the shelf, right? We want to make sure that people can understand our value proposition, can see that this is a differentiated product, especially with a whole new group of consumers coming in and discovering us for the first time on the grocery shelves. I think there's certainly the opportunity to revisit that in the future once the brand is more established. and transition to something. We know this is our first launch into grocery stores, and packaging will evolve and change over time as we have more experiences in that channel. But first and foremost, we wanted to ensure that the initial experience was as perfect as possible for the consumers, and we felt that packaging really needed to reflect that.
Right. So it's not just the look and feel, but it's the functionality of our product. One of the things that really,
opening up. I love that.
yeah, and it's the protection of, Mochi is somewhat of a delicate product. And what you'd see in our competitors is that it can be damaged. And we built and engineered this packaging to really protect it. So it's not just beautiful, it's also very functional. But there's certainly opportunities to grow there as well. And we, as Claudio said, made sure that the pricing and everything that we built in made sense. And we're essentially the same cost as a single serve mochi that's out there on the market already. But we're truly protecting that mochi. So when you get to it, it's not split open. It's not. It's fresher. It still has that fresh taste that you'd expect.
Beautiful, Jason. Let's end with you.
All right. Well, I'll have to be totally honest. You're looking at a new consumer, not familiar with the product at all, and looking at the packaging and trying to decide what could be in here and what, as I look at it, very pleasantly surprised once I got it opened up and hit a bite. It's very unique, and obviously I'm not in the social media channels and really onto this product, but as you branch out and try to scale up, some of these bigger retailers, if you pick up a distribution center, do you have the scale to do that? Do you have the capacity to ramp up and go? What potential do you have to grow with your current production?
That's a great question, Jason. It always, a tricky thing to navigate as a small brand when we do our own manufacturing. But we're actually currently investing in an expansion to a larger manufacturing facility that we expect to be open around the end of the year. And that plan for that is really to take us through this next phase of growth and through the launch into grocery stores. So the short answer is, we will have ample capacity to continue to grow.
Very cool. Well, this has been fantastic. Thank you for all the great questions, judges, and Claudio and Jean. Thank you for your great answers. So now the fun truly begins. What a series of companies. I'm glad that I don't have to decide who the winner is, but would like you to think about who you would like to win. So you will have the ability to put your votes into the chat. Just let us know. Type it right in. We'll be looking at all those. And at the same time, our judges are now backstage off deciding who they believe are going to win. As a reminder, they're looking at everything from the founder team to the uniqueness, to the taste and the scalability. Those are the 4 criteria. So we're going to give them a minute to kind of commiserate and deliberate with each other. And in the meantime, as a reminder, all this is around Gen Z. And driving new demand for New York milk. And so we referenced it earlier in the show, but one of our judges did an amazing TikTok video about the competition, showing the products earlier today. So we are going to run that, and then we'll show a few of the commercials from the finals just as we get the votes tabulated. So we'll be back in just a moment, and please enjoy the video.
You guys, this is not a drill. Okay, I got a package from New York MilkLaunch. New York MilkLaunch is kind of like a Shark Tank, but for dairy products. And all the products that I'm going to be tasting today are from the 6 finalists. So the winner is going to be picked this Thursday, and it's free to watch it. If you guys want RSVP, I'll get you the link. I'm going to be sampling these products right now, though, so I can see the competition that we're looking at. Okay, the first one that I'm going to try is called Spilt. It's caffeinated chocolate milk. Here we have light mode and dark mode. And I don't know which one to try first. Since I'm too impatient to wait for them to get cold in the fridge, I'm gonna pour them over ice. I'm gonna go with the light mode. It smells so good. Oh my, this is phenomenal. So the light mode has 60 milligrams and the dark mode has 140 milligrams of caffeine. I'm not gonna rate them yet because I'm rating them on Thursday, but guys, next up we have Mochidoki, and this one is frozen. So this one says it's a Japanese inspired delicacy, but it's cake batter. Wow! This would literally be such a perfect late night snack. Next on the list, we have shea protein powder. This is a Greek yogurt protein made from Greek yogurt whey. So this one says it can be used so many different ways, like in pancakes, in protein shakes, in baking. I think I'll do a milkshake. I have coffee flavored and chocolate flavored. I love chocolate. So if you guys have seen the trend yet, these are all dairy related and it's all gonna aid to promote our dairy industry. Let's give it a try. So good, and 20 grams of protein. Next up, the Elite Donut. So I kept mine frozen, but I put it in the microwave for like 30 seconds to have that fresh out of the oven feel. And to my surprise, these last 30 days in the fridge or 6 months in the freezer. Let's give it a try. This is loaded with cinnamon and so good warm. And keto friendly. Next is a product called Split Pint. This is a 3-layer ice cream starting with cake, then sherbet, then ice cream. Trying to get all 3 layers, and let's give it a try. So this one says it's actually a Caribbean-inspired ice cream and sorbet. Very unique, I love it. This is gonna be a hard competition, guys. And last on our list, we have True Scoops, which is a powdered, shelf-stable ice cream mix. Let's make some ice cream. Now we're gonna add 2 1/4 cups of half and half, and then we're gonna mix it all together. Now it says to dump this all into ice cube trays. Let's see how it goes. Pop them in the freezer. Okay, so now that all of these are frozen and in my blender, 1/2 cup of half and half. So then you take that mixture and you put it in the freezer for 3 hours. This is so bomb. Remember, if you guys want to see who wins out of those 6 companies, come join us on Thursday, www.newyorkmilklaunch.com.
Whether you eat this donut with your coffee for breakfast, as a snack, before and after a workout, or even for the late night munchies, the Elite Donut is fit for any lifestyle. 3 delicious flavors, individually packaged for portion control and pre-glazed for your convenience. The Elite Donut, the anytime donut.
This can't be fun. Is someone forcing you to do this? Blink twice if you need help. No, please, don't do it, please. And there you go. Why would you do this to yourself? Why is this even a thing? Because you want to be better. That's why. You want to keep up with those little hellions. You want to show your boss who's boss. You want to show Rob your better side. Hi, Rob. So no, you're not crazy. You're better. And that's why you drink better. Low sugar, high protein, caffeinated chocolate milk. Spilt. It's freaking delicious.
You want some milk? Please. Some for you, some for you, and...
It doesn't make much sense to throw away 3/4 of your milk. But that's exactly what happens every year in the yogurt industry, who produces 1.7 billion pounds of unusable and, unless treated, harmful waste called acid whey. Our revolutionary green treatment process converts this otherwise unusable milk byproduct into a high-quality protein for human consumption. It's a discovery that's about a lot more than just spilled milk.
imagination in every bite. A thin layer of soft, velvety mochi rice cake wrapped around a rich bite of ice cream. The only truly premium mochi ice cream, crafted using the finest ingredients sourced from around the globe. Mochidoki is more than a dessert or a simple snack. It's an experience.
So I have to say, this is our fifth dairy-based startup accelerator that we've run, and the judges' votes have never been this close. It is pretty cool to see what's happening behind the scenes. So I'm very excited to get to the winner. But first, I want to share with you the fan vote. We worked with a consumer research company called Perksy. They're unbelievable in terms of getting rapid reaction from fans. We went out to Gen Z and asked them what they would buy, what they would put in their shelf based on some of those videos you just saw. And so we went to over 500 consumers. And this is the fan vote, which will be included in the overall scoring. Mochidoki coming in first, just barely over True Scoop's Elite and Creme Coco. You can see that everybody is extremely close here. And that is certainly what is happening behind the scenes with the judges as well. And now, this is the moment we've been waiting for. It's been a several-month process, great mentors. These companies have come so far in such a short amount of time. We're so proud of all of them. Literally one vote, one way or the other, would have changed this outcome to multiple people. So without further ado, the winner of the 2022 New York MilkLaunch and the $150,000 grand prize and bragging rights as the top dairy startup in New York State is, drum roll please, Josh from Spilt Milk. Josh, congratulations. You have won the championship. Way to go.
Oh, that's so awesome. Oh my gosh.
What do you think it was? It was obviously a really tough field with lots of great companies. What do you think it was that helped you over the top here to win this?
Oh man, there's been so much mentorship going on for the last few months. Just getting to know new people, new partners that I know I'm going to be partnering with, reaffirming some of the decisions I've made early on with Cayuga. But I think someone said, I don't remember who it was, I think it could have been Neil, but he's like, you got to get artwork on the shelves. Product's important, very important, but that's not everything. So get artwork on the shelves. And anyway, I'm pumped. I'm just so excited.
Well, we can't wait to see you on all those shelves. And congratulations. This is just the beginning of all the greatness for you ahead. And so I know we'll be talking a lot more, but congratulations. This was really awesome. A great win. You did terrific tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And thank you to everybody for watching this evening. We really appreciate you spending some time with us this evening. We want to thank the New York Dairy community, everybody involved, from the dairy promotion order to all the farmers, to New York Ag and Markets. It's a pleasure to work with all of you, and each of the cohort tonight, the finalist companies that presented. This was such a close competition. All of you could have won. You all have incredibly bright futures. Obviously, we'll be here to help you any way we can. And a special thanks to our mentors who've dedicated their time to helping these companies grow so far, so fast. And then our judges tonight. As you saw, that was a heavy hitter lineup of some extremely influential people that have dedicated their night to join us and help us make this decision. So thank you. And lastly, just wanted to thank my whole team here at Venture Fuel. Bo and Cami and Shira have worked tirelessly, as is Vanessa, and everybody on the team came together to make this such a special program. So we're so excited for Spilt. We're excited about New York Dairy and wanted to thank you all for joining us tonight. So until next year, take care.